Welcome to On Point. I'm Jacqueline Koenig. Social media channels are unlocking opportunities for businesses, talk shows, and musicians. With the 25th anniversary of the internet this year, a recent Pew Research report as of May 2013, 72% of online adults use social networking sites. Sites like YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram help ordinary people become self-made internet brands overnight. Over 4 billion videos are viewed a day, and over 3 billion hours of video are watched each month on YouTube. Blogging is a way for people to get their name out there and promote their business brand. Statistics show small businesses with blogs generate 26% more leads. Over 50% of U.S. consumers make purchases based on a blog post. The word blog was first used in 1997, and today, news blogs rival mainstream media as well as have annual web blog awards, including for Best New Blog and Best Web Blog of the Year. Major brands like Starbucks and Target use Facebook pages to promote their businesses and keep customers up to date on new promotions going on, as new media continue to deliver on-demand access to content anytime and anywhere. Many people have had great success by establishing their online career with this new age technology. Now to On Point's Johnny Green, who is in the studio with today's guests.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I'm sitting here with Associate Professor Dr. Kristen Walker, YouTuber Vanessa Watson, and YouTuber, blogger, social media correspondent Reina Royale. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
I want to start with you two. I want to ask how you got started.
How I got started doing YouTube, I originally was watching a couple girls do like hair tutorials, and because I just don't know how to do my hair. And then I actually suffered from really bad acne, and I figured, like, let me make a video on how I cleared out my skin. So I did that, and then I actually deleted that channel, and I was like, because I got like scared and not many people were watching, but then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it again and get back into the fashion sense of things. So I put up a video on Thanksgiving 2010 on an outfit, and from there on, just continued to do more outfit videos, and then I lost 40 pounds, and then that's when my channel kind of got like crazy and took over. So that's how I got started.
Got it. And Reina?
Well, for me, it's two-sided, but I started doing red carpet for an online company. It's called Black Tree TV. They're really big online. And I started that maybe my sophomore year of college. And I kind of stayed with them for about 2.5 years. So that's how I kind of got started, just learning the ins and out of YouTube and monetizing channels and how it works with bigger, conglomerates and partners and things like that. So I learned about that, and then also I learned about the digital content side, how not necessarily YouTube, but how you can use YouTube to help market things and other things like that. So I kind of worked both ends, but I basically got started from, interested in doing like hosting and things like that.
Awesome. And you do a ton of things online, so do you want to tell us a couple of those?
Oh, yes. Right now I'm really into Instagram. It's going very, very, very well. It's kind of like a gossip, entertainment, news updates on your Instagram. Sometimes I post news before, bigger news sites post them, or sometimes I love to hear my friends or people come up to me and tell me, like, I found out because of, your site. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that. I do YouTubing sometimes, depending on if I have a story, which means I'm on the red carpet always looking for, like, what's really going on, who's acting salty, who's not doing any press, who's, So if I get something good, then I will do like a royal report is what I call.
I love it.
Other than that, if it's something really, really big, then I'll blog about it like a mixtape Monday or something like that.
For sure.
But I kind of balance all three between those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are these stories typical of, people that are starting out online?
Yeah, in fact, I think they're two good examples of really authenticity, right? I mean, in terms of her story, the reason why you probably are gaining following is because the story rings authentic. And I think that speaks volumes in terms of consumers. They want to be able to connect. And it seems like you're looking for content, right, and managing that content. And part of that content, too, when you said, looking for salty, it's finding that authentic story. It's finding something that is original that someone else hasn't found yet, and then putting your spin on it, adding value to it. And that's really what marketing, especially online nowadays.
For sure.
I completely agree. I think that's what gives me a little edge on the carpet sometimes, is because I'm not just some girl like spewing some crazy story. It's like, here's a video, I'm gonna slow it down for you, we're gonna talk about it. And I think giving the consumers that authenticity is like really,
I agree.
really key.
We'll be right back after these messages.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We've done what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is my computer.
This is your computer. Let's go on the internet.
Let's go. Click it.
Yes.
Okay.
I cursor in between the R and the E. When I say dot, I want you to just push the period.
She's gonna love me all over again now.
That's it. Jamaica, here you go.
Here we go.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. And I did it by myself. Feel smarter.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
How do you kind of keep the content fresh and original, like she said, because that's how people really connect to you guys?
Ooh, that's a good question. I go through sometimes doing series. So right now it's going to be summertime. Wellness Wednesday is like my biggest thing right now.
Really good.
Everyone wants to know how to slim down. I've done a slim down series before, and I think that's what keeps people more engaged, is because they're always looking for meals that they can eat that they love instead of feeling like they're eating rabbit food and stuff like that. So providing healthy meals not only keeps me on track, but it also, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to try that. That's kind of different. So I think that's how people stay engaged a little bit more.
I saw some of your cooking.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And Raina, you too.
For me, on the red carpet side, I think that I'm not afraid to test the market, because you always want to continue to test what's going on to see if there's a new wave that your audience might be like kind of liking, but then also to stay true to what you've been posting. So there's my key people that I know is going to hit. I know I should follow them. I have my kind of key sources, but I'm also not afraid to kind of maybe change it up a little bit and try some new things and see, how they like it or not.
Got it. And are there certain strategies that work better to really market yourself and start to be really successful?
Yeah, I think ultimately what you guys are talking about is a community, right? And there's different levels and stages in terms of building that community. And you talk about, obviously when you have a certain number of fans in that community or viewers, right? Then it's really about making sure that you, again, going back to authenticity, are authentic to that you don't switch it up, that you don't suddenly become something else, right? Okay. So if you switched from, fitness or fashion to something, and health to something else, that might mean that you would lose part of your community. Exactly. But it's also stages. As your community grows, I think you're doing a smart thing in terms of testing things out. Yeah. But that, you have to follow that up by measuring that, right? So is it working or is it not? And if it's not working, then go back to, well, does my community want that?
Yeah. How would you measure that exactly?
Well, there are a lot of metrics. My guess is that you guys are both using metrics and insights, right?
Yes, definitely. Insta likes is a really good one. Insta likes kind of keeps track of who's liking what, and I like it better because on Instagram you can see like all of your photos in a grid format, but you see how many hearts are, so I can kind of immediately gauge by looking like what's getting a more number of likes in that week or which one was my highest. So I kind of use that. As well as Hootsuite. I don't know if you use TweetDeck or anything.
I use YouTube Analytics and just kind of see the graphs and what's doing well, what's not, what people like more.
Yeah.
And that helps me a lot to produce the videos that people are more likely to watch.
Got it. And for you guys, I'll start with you.
Okay.
But, when a certain video gets a lot of likes, more so than your other videos, do you kind of tailor videos after that to be like that? Because she was talking about being authentic, but...
You know, everyone really likes my weight loss videos. And when it comes to being authentic, you know, I'm 23 years old. I'm very relatable in the sense that I do live a normal life. I've gone through yo-yo diets. I've gone through gaining weight and dropping weight. And I think that, you know, it is hard for people like, well, sometimes, you know, you're this size and sometimes you're that size. And I'm really trying to find a balance within myself. And that's why mainly I'm on YouTube also now. So I think that it just, I don't know. None of my videos are really the same, and I don't want them all to be very repetitive. So I don't really go, oh, this one had a lot of likes, so let me just trail on that. And I don't know, so I don't do that.
Okay. And for you?
For me, the video, I mean, obviously when like Media Takeout did one of my videos, the one you were talking about with D-Wade and Gabrielle Union, that obviously helped a lot. And immediately that day, like I gained like 300 subscribers.
Really, just from that video?
Yeah, but then again, at the same time, like Media Takeout doesn't want to give me too much shine because it's like, then why go to you if I can go to her for it?
For sure.
So that happens a lot. Sometimes I'll send sources or tips from the story and like they won't post it, but then they'll rather like maybe reach out on behalf of the link type of thing. So it's kind of trying to find, I guess, the balance between who your networking relationship. So if I know the person or an editor or a writer that works at Boss Up, like, give her a call or a text to get your stuff kind of retweeted out rather than trying to like have someone help hopefully retweet you or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
And would you say, you know, to really listen to your viewers, but also, like you said, be authentic? Is there a certain strategy to kind of staying true to that?
I think that goes to community size, right? So the bigger you go, and I think you guys are talking about this in terms of competition, then you enter into a sphere where competitors are now aware of you and maybe either pulling content from you, right? You get the questions of whether to manage the trolls, right, on the internet and try and connect or delete. I think it's always recommended to sort of connect and engage or ignore rather than delete, so that you keep that authenticity. But it really, in terms of a strategy, comes down to, you know, when you start out, a lot of times you start out because you have this great idea and it automatically and naturally connects with consumers. Where it goes after that, as you become more specialized, is really up to you, right? And if you can manage to do that and either take that and build a career out of it, right, which you're trying to do, then I think that's wonderful. But if it grows too big, then you have to stop and think, well, how am I going to manage this? Am I still thinking about what the consumer wants, and does what the consumer wants still what I want? And that changes in the community size and growth.
And do you find that also a little bit challenging?
I do, just because, you know, there was the first year and a half, maybe 2 years that I started my channel. Once people saw that I lost so much weight, everything was weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. And those 2 years, I really put myself through gaining weight on purpose, losing weight on purpose, gaining weight on purpose, to show people it's possible and how to lose 20 pounds in 6 days, etc. So yes, it does get very difficult now that I'm kind of trying to stabilize myself. People are like, well, can you show me this? And why aren't you losing weight anymore? And I'm just like, look, guys, I got to be done at some point. So I do know at some point I'm going to have to find a different alley for that, or, you know, at least show people how to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And that's kind of what I'm trying to transition to. So I'll have to see how that works out.
Got it. And then what about you?
For me, again, I'm just testing the market. And for me, I think I'm focusing on being multi-platform. But I think if it's a popular blogger by the name of Nicole Bitchy. She actually, it's NicoleBitchy.com. Yeah. So she's a popular blogger who started off before, like, she started at the right time where it was the most profitable for her. But she's struggling with that now because she has relationships with artists now and celebrities now, and as well as her content being, is it really her brands now, or is it the brands that are paying the bills? So she's kind of struggling with that, and right now I think she's trying to separate herself from that. Which is why, like, Reina Royale is great because it's an ulterior ego. It's not necessarily connected to me. If I ever wanted to sell it, it could be sold. I think about those things now because I see those examples, and I obviously see that, like, blogging and YouTube is coming on its narrow end on being able to make money. So that's why I'm, like, trying to reach forward to the digital, like, how Mixbit, which is a new app that the YouTube creators have made now, testing out on that. And I realized that if I did a YouTube post right now, like, it would be likely that they would put it on the popular page or, like, maybe retweet it, right? But on Mixbit, I've been on the feature page like 2 or 3 times because it's brand new and no one's really known about it, but they're seeing different example of how you could use it. So they're like, showing me some love. So I think I would tell everyone that advice as far as just looking forward to, like, what you think will be hot in the next 5 or 10 years and not what's hot now.
I agree.
Yeah.
And with that said, you've all kind of touched on building a career online. Are you guys currently making money online?
Yes, I do. So it is a job. And I think that sometimes makes it a little bit more stressful because you're like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's fun and you enjoy doing it. So.
And do you want to talk a little bit about that, how you're making the money, or what a little bit about what you're doing?
I am accompanied. I am partnered with a company through YouTube who found me after a couple years when I was actually partnered with Google originally, which I believe everyone can be partnered with Google now. So they found me and I joined with them. And it's been great ever since. So basically I get paid through them. And I think the only difference is versus being with Google is they are able to use my content if they would like to and add it in any of their little videos. And I just can't copyright it. So they have the rights to my videos.
Got it.
I see, definitely. For me, the red carpet, unfortunately, me and some other hosts are definitely about trying to spread the message to the other entertainment host about knowing when to stop working for free. There's no union for us, and there's someone willing to gun for your job afterwards. So it kind of creates an opportunity for those, who kind of have maybe a more privileged life. If your parents can take care of you, that's great. You can do entertainment hosting. But if you have bills to pay, entertainment hosting might not be the best outlet for you because everyone's so willing to do it for free. So that's a little spiel there. But so a lot of the time, people that are working for major outlets are working for free or freelance. There's never really any kind of salary until you get to the big boys like E and KTLA.
And that's all like E Online.
E Online and E News, KTLA, Insider. Those people they're getting salaries. Mostly everybody else who are online, probably not. They may be getting something for that day. Like a freelance gig. But since I am still a producer, I digitally make content for producing. So I do videos for real estate. I used to work in student housing. Student housing was paid for, trying to find my ways, through college.
I love
it.
USC,
so it is in the 60,000s a year. So definitely had to make sure I take care of housing. But I started to learn how they market. I understand the process of how they market. And I was offered a job at Lorenzo, which is a big complex now, as a marketing manager. And so I did that, built that brand, and then went back to school to start my own company, kind of. So I kind of had a Spanish class. So I'm kind of doing that process now where I'm graduating this semester. I've started my Pink Cheetah Productions, which is the online part, and that's how I make the majority of my cash. Is I make promotions or reels or marketing videos, or everyone's going to need to go digital. So at some point, your school is going to start to have TVs and content, the slideshows, the videos that are trying to reach an audience. It'll be all digital. So I kind of do that for the real estate now, and that's how I'm making my buck, or the promo marketing and stuff like that, because everyone needs some kind of digital content. Other friends, I do their reels.
Got it.
They need a reel or something like that. But that's pretty much how we make the money on that side for the production side of the company. But everything else, that gives me the money so that I can be fabulosa.
Got it.
Yeah.
And would you say you can build a career just out of being online and pay your bills and
Yeah, I obviously there are a lot of examples, only 2 here, right? But there are more examples of being able to do that online. I think that's going to shift, and I think you see that in a couple of comments that you guys made. Obviously, YouTube has changed, right? And the Google has sort of changed the way they treat YouTube content, right?
Yes.
So it's that move, it's the fight between organic and paid. And the way that a lot of people have been able to be paid online is because they're getting organic search results. So it's not costing something necessarily to be found. That's going to shift, and that's going to shift with the Internet of Things. That's going to shift as algorithms start to play a bigger role with all the companies that are buying up and eating up all of the outlets. But that shift will allow for other innovation. So.
And you talked a little bit about changes on YouTube. Do you want to talk about that?
Do I want to talk about it? Yes, YouTube has changed a few times actually since I've been on YouTube.
How long have you been on YouTube?
Since 2010, and then I didn't start taking it seriously till late 2011. Okay. So a few years. They did change it. They merged with Google.
That's right.
I personally don't like it, so let me just put that out there. I think it made YouTube very difficult to use, and I just found where I can receive my messages. So I actually lost a lot of business opportunities through that.
Really?
And yeah, so I'm not a big fan of how they changed it. I think it should just go back to how it was, where it was very simple. People can communicate easier, because I'm finding that it's harder for people to kind of comment back and engage more. And I think that's where views decrease and stuff like that. So no, I'm not a fan of the new YouTube.
We have more to cover, and we'll be right back.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Thank you for calling your GED Pep Talk Center. All right, now, are you ready for your GED Pep Talk?
Being nervous is okay. It just shows that you're serious about getting your diploma.
A lot of things are scary. Heck, I'm scared of clowns.
No quiero oír. No lo puedo hacer.
DMC, life in your pep talk style.
Just keeping it real, Debs, just keeping it real.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Mommy, I don't feel so well.
Okay, so
you wouldn't give yourself or your loved one poison, would you? Then why would you take or give counterfeit medications that may contain the wrong or no active ingredient? Counterfeit medications are out there. They can be ineffective and harmful to your health. Be a smart consumer and know your pharmacy, especially if you're purchasing medication online.
So when you're online and you're branding yourself, you're new, are there limitations, or is it difficult to really do that and find something to be successful as a brand?
I don't think it's difficult to get yourself out there. I think it's difficult for people to figure out, and you said, brand themselves, right? Yeah. To figure out who are they and is that authentic, right? Yeah. And do they want to be authentic? Do they want to create an alter ego? You see a lot of people with different sort of online personas, and they can all be beneficial, but again, when you come back to branding, it has to be something that's consistent. And as long as you can stay consistent within that persona, then you're keeping and maintaining your community.
And for you guys, are there, do you guys find limitations to your brands, or do you have trouble, continuing to keep with the theme of what you're trying to do?
So okay. At times there are some limitations, just because, like I said before, it does get a little repetitive, and I think that's a little bit difficult. And I don't want to venture outside of what I believe in, as far as when it comes to weight loss and stuff like that. So at times I do feel a little bit limited, because I can't endorse several products and tell people do this, do this, do this. So at times, yes, but at the same time, I think it's more important to just stick with what you know and do what you can and just improve off every single thing that you do.
For me, for branding, I feel like whenever you want to brand something, if you're starting to brand something, is to really, take that time and make that list for you. Who do you want to target? You know what I mean? What do you want to target? What does it look like? What will you do? And that's kind of what I do with myself as far as my personality and on-air personality. How far will I go? Where won't I go? And I think over this time I've learned kind of, the balance, but it's always checking that balance and making sure that balance is not being used as insensitive, because as you can know, with any kind of media personality, it can change for you in a second and you are out. Hashtag Paula Deen. You know what I mean? But it just really kind of brings you a lesson of how powerful your voice is, especially I want to get up there with the big boys, but also you have to realize that when you're up there with the big boys, like one bad taping can just kill it for you. So I think it's a kind of understanding those limitations and knowing where you want to go. But unfortunately, I feel like I'm very intimidating. I mean, that's all. I mean, maybe I just tell myself to make myself feel better. I don't know. But I feel like maybe I am. I remember I used to intern for this tour manager. Her name was Tina Farris. She's a beast, like female tour manager holding it down. She was working with Black Eyed Peas. I was working with her. And I went to dinner and I met will.i.am for the first time and he told me that I was intimidating. So for me, I was like, are you kidding? Like if will.i.am is saying this, then
maybe there's a problem.
Hey.
I would think it's really enthusiasm though. And in terms of hashtags, it's sort of hashtag passion, right? You guys are talking about what you're passionate about. And if you're passionate about things that the consumers can connect to, then that's when it works.
Yeah. And then I agree too.
Good.
If I was starting today, what would be some advice you have to give me? A few tips.
A few tips in terms of doing what? Going out online?
Of becoming successful. I
think from a professorial standpoint, it's really figure out what you're passionate about. And then figure out what you want to develop expertise in. And then figure out the right medium for your message. Because we're talking about digital, but there's lots of offline activities and functions that still are just as valuable. And I'm sure you guys are merging both of those.
I would definitely say if you were starting out, get your team. Like there's so much power in this university alone. You just got to find the people in the right places. So you're interested about doing hosting. There's someone who's gun-ho about being a producer. There's someone's crazy about cinema. If you build the right team, you guys can create anything that you want, and you can shoot things way before advance. And then release them on dates. So if you're going to shoot a 7-show segment, like shoot it first before you start posting, and then release it so it's consistent, because that's number 2. Being consistent.
I would say don't do it for the money. I think that's really the biggest thing. Stay humble, stay grounded, and do what it is that you want to do. And I believe if you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're talking about and what you want to share with the universe, you will prosper from it. So that's my advice.
Well, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I certainly learned a lot.
I'm glad.
And thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you for watching On Point. If you would like to see more, you can follow us on Facebook by liking our page, which is CSUN On Point, and follow us on Twitter at CSUN On Point, all one word. The show also appears on our website, csuntvnews.com, and catch us on LA Channel 36 every Sunday at 11:30. From all of us here at On Point, I'm Jacqueline Koenig. Thank you for watching.